Hey everyone, wanted to go over a few basic things. I'm getting a lot of questions from people about what's the difference between variable wattage and variable voltage, and what is ohms and resistance. So I'm going to try to go over this the best I can. I'm not an expert by any means, but we were all new at one point in time, and I feel like there's a lot to go over, and people need to know this stuff getting into variable voltage and variable wattage devices. So let's get right into it. I'm going to use for demonstration, I got a review coming up on this. It's the iTaste SVD from Anokin. Right off the bat, we're going to go into the resistance. Your coils, I don't care what kind of coil you have. You got a Vivanova, an iClear 30, a ProTank, a ProTank 2, dripping atomizer. Everything's got the coil inside has a resistance value. It's either going to be 1.8 ohms, 2.2, 2.4. It's going to have some kind of resistance in ohms. Basically, when you find out what ohms your coil is, and most of these devices, most of your variable voltage and variable wattage devices will show you the ohms. They'll have an ohm checker on it, like that's 2.2. So this 2.2 head, I like it at 4 volts, or 4.2 volts. So the higher you go on voltage, the more power you're giving to the coil, which is going to give you a hotter vape, more flavor, more vapor. But yet you go too high, you can actually start to burn it and get a burnt taste or dry hits, and you're just exceeding the coil limit. I will post a safe vaping chart down below in the description. It's going to have all the information on resistance and what your safe area is. It's going to have your green, your red area, and your stuff like that. Once you see it, you'll understand after watching this. It's just going to give you the basics of what your safe area is that your power should be at for that particular ohm cartomizer or tank or whatever you're using. And then we get into variable wattage, aka variable power. Your variable power is your volts squared divided by the resistance. That's how you get your power. So if you're running 4.2 volts, you take 4.2 volts times 4.2 volts gives you such and such. Divide that by your resistance. Say 2.2 ohm coil, which is I'm running here. It's going to give me 8.01 watts. So what variable wattage comes into play is, say you like, I know I like this this 2.2 head in this ProTank. I like it at 4.2 volts. That's what I like it at. So say I take this off and I put on this cartomizer tank, but this one's a 3.0 ohm resistance. Well, if I have that set at 8.0 watts, which I like on the ProTank, it's automatically going to fluctuate the voltage to keep me at 8.0 watts. So without even adjusting the voltage, just I'm at 8 watts. Now on this one here, being a 3.0, I would normally have to bump this up to like 5 volts to equal 8.33 watts, because it's a 3.0 ohm cartomizer inside here. So it's automatically taking that, bumping it up and down. I found that I like 8.5 watts. So when I take this off, technically it's taking it from 5 volts down to 4.2 volts. And it's going to give me the same vape. That I like. This I would have, if I was on variable voltage, I would have to crank this back down to 4.2 volts because I was at 5 volts on this one. So I'm just going to give you a comparison on a 2.2 ohm head. If I like it at 4.2 volts, which is this right here, I would be running 8.01 watts, or aka power. On this 3.0 head, at 5 volts is what I normally run it at. That puts me at 8.33 watts, or 8.5. You can split the difference, which give or take. So say you have a low resistance like 1.8 ohm head, and you want to stay at 8 watts, you would have to go to a 3.8 volts. So basically, to keep all those at 8 volts, I would have to be fluctuating up and down on my voltage. But since you found out what I like 8.0 or 8.5 watts, set that at 8.5 watts, vape. Remember, this would have been 4.2 volts. I vaped it, I'm not touching nothing. Now I'm going to put it on the 3.0 again. Normally, I would have had to bump this up to 5 volts. And that's what it normally, that's about the equivalent of what I get if I would have bumped it up to 5 volts. But I didn't have to touch anything. It's automatically doing it in the chip because I have it set on variable voltage, or variable power, I'm sorry. Now if I switch it back to variable voltage, like this right here, you'll see it goes to volts. And I'm at let's go to 4.2. Actually, this is the 3.0, so I'm going to have to bump this up to 5. 5 volts is what I normally run this at, because I'm on voltage now. Now if I was to take this and put this on here at 5 volts, it would pop the coil. It would pop the coil on me because I have it on voltage, not wattage. I know I like 8.5 watts, but to equal that wattage now that we're on voltage, I'm gonna have to lower this down to 4.2 volts to get my vape I want. And that's normally what I vape at, is around 8 watts. So it's taken one, I still vape on voltage just because I like to play with here and there. I like to go up and down and tweak it a little bit. But if you're somebody that just wants to set it and forget it type person without doing the math, take it, set it on variable power, or aka wattage. Find your watts. I'm at 8. It says 8P on this. And you could throw whatever you want on here. Let's see what this is. I don't even know what this is. 2.7. I would normally have to bump this up to almost 4.7, 4.6. I'm not going to do anything with it because it's on power. Take it off. Switch it back down. That was 2.7. Switch it back down to my 2.2. Still at 8 watts. So there you go. Basically, when you have it set on variable wattage, it does the work for you. It's going to automatically, between your heads, bump it up and down. If you're a new vapor and you only have one style tank, a Pro tank or an EVOD, and you like it at 4.2 volts, you don't have to go to variable wattage. It's one less step to configure yourself. Your device will do it if you have a variable wattage device, but don't confuse yourself. Just leave it alone, be done, set it at the voltage you like, and be done. But if you're switching on and off all day and you like different tanks with different juices in them and they all got different coils in them, set it over, find what you like on voltage, set it over to variable wattage, figure out your wattage. Like I said, if you like a 2.2 head at 4.2 volts, you take 4.2 times 4.2 divided by 2.2 for the head, and that's going to give you 8.01 watts, and set it at 8 watts, and then anything you put on there, it's going to automatically fluctuate the voltage to give you that same power or wattage. So that's the difference between those. I can get even into it more deep if that still doesn't answer questions for you guys, but I have a feeling that'll help most of you out there with that. If you have any more comments or questions, put them down below. Don't forget to click subscribe. You'll be kept up to date with all of our videos. And join us on Facebook. Link will be down below, and I'll see you on the next one.